listening to a mixtape my uncle got me, or made me. It's in the house right now, because I already ripped it to my iTunes. It's in the house because I want to put it in my car. But on my drive from Seattle, I stopped on Eugene where my uncle lives, and we listened to a bunch of jazz. In the past 2 years I've been getting really into jazz music, and I won't get into that now, but he showed me some stuff, I showed him some stuff I like, and then I got a CD from him the other day with 10 tracks on it, and jazz is a very soul-resonating type of music for me, and I feel like when I connect with someone with it, it's very powerful, and it made me a mixtape of new stuff for me to get into, which is awesome. And I think making someone a mixtape is great, especially if you've already kind of confirmed you guys like, or you've already kind of bonded over a type of music before. There's a bunch of mixtapes I need to make for some people that I told them I would, and I need to get on that. And this is kind of like the slap in the face, like make someone a mixtape kind of thing. But yeah, nice. I don't want to talk about it now. Now is not the time. Hey, what do you think of this?
What?
Yeah.
Underway with the man.
She's vicious.
That dog is, I've never seen a dog have a toy that's stuck down in the last 7 years.
What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do? Wreck it? You know, this is hands down the grossest I've ever seen it. It's really getting there. Look at that wear and tear. She loves it. Yeah, good point. I'm about to eat.
So I have to.
Mom, I'm really hungry.
We're always really hungry for the skinniest man alive.
Sick. So I haven't addressed this yet. I should have done it the first day, but with this season 2 of CamEveryDay, I'm not gonna make the everyday commitment. And there's a bunch of reasons. One of them is I don't want to make daily entertainment out of my daily life at this point in my life. Daily, you know. I want to film every day, but if I'm like chilling out one day, I don't want to make a YouTube video about it. You know? I don't want to be slave to the trying to make everything I do entertaining enough for an audience per se, you know? I think that's pretty understandable, you know? There's a lot of videos back in the day where it's just like, I did this today, but like, I don't want to repeat that, and there's going to be days where I don't do it, and there's going to be days where I do it, you know? So the channel name, CamEveryDay, is flawed, okay? It's a flawed name, and I understand that. And I also understand there's a lot of you guys that looked forward to every single day a new video, and I'm sorry to let you down and bum you out with that. But I need to say it, and I've you know, that's the way it is. Hope you understand. If you don't, you're that's kind of weird. So CamEveryDay, it's not, I don't know. There's no better title for it. It's kind of a goofy title. Actually, YouTube just asked me if I wanted to use that username forever, and I was like, yeah. and I have 14 days to change it back. I don't really know much about YouTube now, but you know, honestly, for a while YouTube was really pissing me off. They were going through all the changes and I didn't like what they were doing, but now it looks really slick, like uploading these videos and kind of going through stuff. Like now that I've kind of, it was confusing at first, but I think it's really efficient now. You know, I might regret saying that in a few days, and I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing CamEveryDay every day. Most days I'll do it. And I think on days where I don't do it, I might clump days together. You know, like there might be, like, you know, Saturday and Sunday might be together. Or maybe it just might be Sunday. I don't know. I'm going to take it day by day. Also, I think another good idea would be kind of do like a CamEveryDay video where it's more like a hang sesh, you know, a video where it's not meant to draw all your attention to the whole video. I'm trying to, like for instance, I didn't have a record player in Seattle. I have one here, but I started buying a bunch of records in Seattle, and I think it'd be cool to have like a listening party that I film, you know, and then, well, it's like a long video where I listen to records or something, or have friends come over and we cook and just like hang out, and it would be like a kind of a background video, but still a cool way to do a video, you know, kind of a still cool way to do a CamEveryDay thing, almost like a video podcast that you kind of like have on the background, you know. You could watch it if you want, like you could have it open on your desk when you're doing something or something like that. But I got all these sweet records in Seattle. Make sure I'm not missing any. Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh yeah, yeah. Ooh yeah, yeah. Ooh yeah, yeah. Now some of these I haven't heard. Well, a lot of them I haven't heard. Like, I haven't heard this one, but that dude's a G, and it was $6. I think these are Brazilian. Yeah, Brazil. I love Brazilian jazz. Brazilian jazz is my first first thing I latched onto. So this should be a great record. I can't wait to see what it sounds like. George Benson, Breezing. This is a classic album. And it was $4. First issue. I didn't even see that. But that song Breezing's awesome. Actually, I'm gonna put it on right now. Fudge. This is obviously on Spotify, not this vinyl. But this is gonna be a sick record to put on. Stan Getz. He's a classic Brazilian jazz bossa nova guy. And it's recorded live at Carnegie Hall. So this is going to be an awesome record. I'm pretty pumped on it. Another George Benson with Herbie Hancock. I think this is live at the... What is this? Oh no, this is a live record. But there he is. Look at that dude. Vince Guaraldi. This is my man. Vince is my favorite. I'll even take it above the jazz artist and just say he's one of my favorite artists of all time. He's a piano player, and he's just, I don't know, too much to talk about. The greatest the Stan Getz, Stereo. I bought this at an expensive record store. It was one of the first records I bought. $32, $33, kind of a rip-off, but I don't know. It should be awesome. We'll see. We'll see how it flows when I put it on. Not that many tracks, but whatever. Ooh, DJ Dodger Stadium. This is not jazz. This is just a great record. So my buddy showed me these guys, and I got kind of into this album a lot, and it's like it's hard to describe. It's dance music. It's like it's like, I really don't know how to describe it, but it's a hell of a record. That's a good way to describe it. It's a hell of a record, and I've got a lot of kind of now emotional attachment with it, especially a few songs on here. Love Songs is great, One Who Lost, Memory Lane, Never, all those. This chunk right here, Never Win's my jam. That's my jam. I actually have this really nice event that I'll share with you. When I was leaving Seattle, I actually have a picture of my car all packed and my house all emptied out, and it was like my last, you know when you take a last glance at something when you're leaving? It was like that, but I just took a selfie of myself, and I'll share it. I'll hopefully drag it in here and you'll see my face. But on my drive out of the city, I lived, if you know anything about Seattle, I lived in Greenwood, Green Lake area. So you drive down Aurora. It's a very windy kind of road, but it's like you go through all these trees and you go through like a zoo, and there's a bridge, and like you get the skyline in the background, and the distance, and it kind of changes with the road, and it's just a really cool drive. It's one of my favorite drives I've ever done. I used to love driving down it at night, and I drive that little Volkswagen Golf, and those are kind of fun to drive if you've ever driven one. So it's just like sweet. But I was leaving the city, and the song came on, Never Win. Well, I put Never Win on as I was leaving the city, and when it hits, it's like, it's very angelic kind of, and the clouds were just beautiful, and all the lighting was like just ideal, and it was like one of those moments where you just kind of like, it just hits you in a way where you want to like, you want tears to come kind of feeling. Very powerful moment, and I don't know, like there was a lot of great moments and memories made with a friend of mine, and you know, they're all in Seattle, and I feel like it's a very kind of tied Seattle record for me, and that was just a really beautiful an exit wound for my Seattle chapter, and you know, very personal. I'll probably never forget it, and yeah, but going forward, Pat Metheny, Still Life Talking. Powerful record. I actually don't want to talk about it. Now, I made a post on the Disfiguring the Goddess page about that record. The Contortionist Languages. Now, the Contortionists, if you're familiar with them, you know them as like a metal band, and they have some heavy records. They actually have 3 records. The first one's heavy. The second one is kind of proggy. Well, they're both proggy. I never jammed them. It wasn't really my thing, so I never really gave it like the time of day, really. But my management at the time also managed the Contortionist, and when I did Warped Tour, their merch guy was available, and well, I won't get into the personal connection, but basically I've got some personal ties to the band, and I knew there was a lot of changes in the band because their merch guy that was working for me on 2013 Warped Tour, and his name is Bill, and Bill and I are just like, we're friends for life. He's simply put the ultimate homie. He's a giant ball of warmth, and I love him with all my heart. And he's very, very good at explaining things, and also like, well, explaining things to me, and he's got a very like clear sense of communication when you get into it with him. And so he kind of has, like, you know, told me a lot about the Contortionists when we were together, because those are his boys. And turn this down a second. But so I knew there was a bunch of changes going on in the band, and I kind of knew where these guys' heads were at, and I went and watched them live when they had the new vocalist. They played in Seattle, and every time Bill was working for a band came through Seattle, I usually go and check out bands. I actually got to see a lot of cool bands that way, because I don't go to shows that often, and you know, I went out to see Bill and kind of check out the bands he was working with, because I was always interested in the bands, or knew the bands he was working with, or the tours he was working on, or whatever. So I went and saw the Contortionist. It was the Contortionist, the Faceless, and I can't remember who was headlining, and I can't remember who opened. But the Contortionists played their second album, Meta Something, in full, like it's in its entirety, and it was so sick. Like, just the movement of the whole set was so awesome, and you know, the whole room was in tune with it too. Like, they have like soft spots and hard spots, and you know, movement's a great word for how it was flowing. And you know, when they had a lot of fans in the room, and you could like feel it build up when like I don't know. It was awesome. I was super impressed, and I just loved it. And so I was a fan of the Contortionists after that, but I still couldn't get into the record. Just the live show really left a great impression on me, you know, which is awesome, because how often does that happen? But I saw that teaser video for Languages, and I knew it was gonna be sweet. Like, I knew it was just like kind of just resonating with what I thought it was gonna kind of be like, in a way. And I asked my manager to get me a link, and I got the link, and I listened to the whole album in full, and then it started over right afterwards, and I listened to it all the way through again in full. And at the time, I don't remember when I've done that last, especially with the metal. Well, it wasn't a metal record. It's just such a large, vast, original, fantastic record, Language. And I've listened to it so many times now. Like, even before it came out, I probably listened to it like 60 times in full. I was always listening to it. It was just, it was like my favorite thing in music. It was one of my most favorite records I've heard in like 4 to 5 years. It just, I don't know. There's something about it, and there's something about those guys, and like this record is only done by these guys. Like, I'm kind of locking up with talking about it, because I didn't expect to see it, I guess, and now I have to say something. But you know, you should really go check out this record and pick it up, because it's one of those records that you're gonna want to own. You're gonna want that pleasure of buying it. You know, you're gonna want that satisfaction of supporting this group and this record. And you know, if you get a chance to see them, you totally should. I know they only play like, I went and saw them in New York, and they played, it was after Language came out, and they played like Language Part 1 and 2, and one other song, I can't remember. But it was sick. If you get a chance to see them, you gotta go do it. Great band, great dudes, phenomenal record. I don't know. We'll take it out. Oh. So I talked about Vince Guaraldi earlier, but Vince Guaraldi is my man, and when was this record done? 1966. So he went down to, well, actually, this kind of gives all the history on it, if you want to pause the video. So he teamed up with this guy, Bolasete, who's a guitar player, and they have a bunch of music together, and it's awesome. It's just like, it's, I'll talk about it later, I guess, but I don't know, I saw this at a record store in Seattle in my neighborhood, and I was just walking by, and it was like, kind of my last win out of the city, and it was like the last month or two. I knew I was leaving soon, and there's just shops I haven't been in. I was just like, I'll check this out. It's like a weird, like like vintage clothing and record store, and like there was two like probably like mid to late 30s girls in there, and they were like kind of awkward, and there were a lot of people in there. It was like the person working and her friend. It was just like typical like Seattle kind of weird vintage store, if that paints a picture. And I was looking through the records, you know, just like kind of talking shit too, and I flipped through and I saw that, and I just died. I bought it right away, and I just, you know, I walked down to where my car was like this, like just like trying to show everyone I walked by like my sick record I just got. I don't think anyone would know what it was, but you know, it was like there was like a chunk of gold for me. So that was a cool moment and a great find, I think. You know, I don't have that many records, as you can tell. I'm kind of done with it. I've got some more, you know, kind of floating around. I've got, ooh, this is a sweet record. Origin color vinyl. That's so sick. Echoes of Decimation. Great album. Haven't listened to it in years. Definitely gonna put it on blast when I get that puppy hooked up. But yeah, I think it would be cool to do back to the non-everyday aspect and try not to make like, you know, entertainment out of daily life. Just because that's like, I don't want to become a slave to it. I want to be myself and be free. But I also want to share with you guys, and I don't want to share BS content or make videos that are like just the worst, you know? So I think I will, especially when I get to my new place, I kind of want to have like party barbecues where like I could like maybe film like 30 minutes of it or something, or like at least put a record on and like kind of have like a listening party almost. I think that'd be sweet. You listen to a record, gonna chime in on some antics. I don't know. I'm just kind of, you know, having a free flow of ideas about it as I talk to you guys as well. But yeah, that was cool to share my records with you guys. I've never thought of myself or thought about like vinyl a lot, but I really like it, and I really like listening to records, and I like the aspect of you can put it on and it's analog. There's something about it where I just think it's awesome, and I think it's kind of forever. Vinyl's, you know, obviously in today's age with streaming and music, like vinyl is the most. It's really outdated, obviously, but I don't think it'll ever go away. I think it's beautiful, and I don't know. I'm stoked to get this record. I gotta get a new needle. My needle's broken, but I'm stoked to listen to these records. You know, maybe even do a little bit of sampling. But I don't know if I could ever make a beat out of Live at the Matador. You know, it's kind of like you don't want to desecrate the things you love, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. Hope you guys have a great day. If you finished the whole video, kudos to you, and you know, keep rocking. I love all the positive energy I'm getting in these comments and stuff, and my Twitter and everything. You guys are on the same page as me, and I think it's awesome. So, you know, let's keep it up. Yeah. Good night.